everybody. Lance Russell with Corey Macklin right alongside, ready to go with another big USWA Championship Wrestling. It's good to be back, I want to say right here. Dave is not going to be with us today. He will be back next week. We send our condolences out to Margaret Brown, who lost her father in there, and you know we're thinking about you, and we'll be looking for you back here next week. Corey, I go out of town for 2 weeks. Son of a gun, what in the world have you let happen
Oh,
here?
boy, the Smoky Mountain Thugs and Bob Armstrong around here. You saw just a moment ago what happened with Randy in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful situation with these guys. But let me tell you, today, what a day of wrestling. Too Sexy Brian Christopher going to be right here with us today. We'll be seeing Brian in action. Also, PG-13, JC and Wolfie right here in action today. We'll be looking at Axl Rotten and a bunch of it today, buddy.
All right, I'll tell you one thing. The action just never slows down. We've got it all lined up. We just showed a little bit of what happened. You out here slapping Randy Hales like that, Bob. We're going to be showing a little bit more. I have known you a long time, partner, and I want to tell you, I don't understand the motivation for what you're doing and causing all the trouble here. Hey, we've been in this wrestling business a long time together.
Well, let me tell you this. You know, I'm a sensible, reasonable man. I just want to stop the war. There's been too much war and problems.
Amen. It's got to be stopped.
So exactly what I did had a motive. You understand? Now, I've come here this week to apologize for that and say I've got 4 conditions, and we'll end this war between Smoky Mountain and USWA. I'll call off my war dogs. We'll end it if you'll just go for these 4 conditions. Now, let me read them to you right now. The first of all I want done is I want the fine lifted off my son, Jesse James Brian Armstrong. That's the largest fine ever on any human being. I think that's unreasonable.
And from what I've seen, well-deserved, but we're not going to argue about that.
Okay, let's don't argue. We're not. I'm just out here to state facts. Number 2. Now, Brian Christopher last week on this TV put his hands on me, an official from Smoky Mountain Wrestling, a reputable company. He put his hands on me for no reason. I think that young man should be suspended indefinitely. That's condition number 2.
Well, now, wait a minute, Bob. You get into things like that, talking about suspending somebody indefinitely, you're going to end up with an argument with that kind of a situation.
Well, I'm just stating the facts as I see them, and I usually see them right. That's why I'm commissioner of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Now, number 3. Is Dave Brown, I see, had enough sense not to show up this week, but Mr. Corey back here made a lot of harsh comments about me and my family. I think he should apologize today. I'll accept his apology as an apology from Dave Brown and Mr. Corey himself. That's condition number 3.
I'm not.
Now, the last condition I have is that Randy Hales, the coward of all times, come out here, look me eye to eye like a man should be if he was half a man. As a matter of fact, he is half a man. And tell me that he is a coward and that he quits this company, never to darken the door again, and get somebody in USWA that can operate this outfit like it ought to be done. Now, that's 4 conditions that I don't consider unreasonable. If you'll follow those 4 conditions.
Listen, Bob, how would you like it if somebody came up and said, you resign, you get out of here, Bob Armstrong? That's the kind of thing you're trying to come over here and tell Randy Hales. He's going to have to admit all this stuff and resign and walk away from it. I don't know where you get coming off with that. Now, that is not unreasonable, Bob.
You know, I'm not a greedy man. Just grant me these 4 conditions. The war's over. Nobody else will get hurt. And we'll go on from there, and we'll remain friends, Lance.
No question about it.
That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
No question. Well, yeah, he walked off after making 4 conditions out there that are totally unreasonable. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. We got lots of it in the ring in a minute. Well, we heard all the stipulations from Bob Armstrong. I agree with one thing Bob says. This has got to come to an end. It's just absolutely too much. You heard the way Bob described it. We thought maybe it'd be better if you took a look with your own eyes and see what happened here. I haven't seen this, so I want to see what happened last week. Here it is.
Bullet Bob Armstrong out here, commissioner of Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Let me have the mic, please.
Hey, Bob, we've had problems.
Listen, a few weeks ago, you made a big mistake. You messed in my business. Now you've made an unforgivable mistake. You've messed with my son, the blood of my loins, who sprang to be a champion. You're champion. You've told lies about him this whole show. You've levied the biggest fine ever fined a person in the USWA. That's unfair. My son is not a thug. When you mess with my business, I turned him loose over here, and what's he done? He's beat everybody in this organization. He's a champion. And while you people just sat on your puffy little duffs, he was over there dodging bullets and missiles from Saddam Hussein, fighting for his country. He's a hero. You ought to honor and respect him. He's the man.
I honor and respect anybody that's been in war, but that's not the situation now. You're the one acting like a lunatic. Let me tell you something. He acted like a thug. He attacked a lady, and we want to tolerate it. You run a wrestling business, too. I don't know how you do it, but you do. We don't tolerate that kind of stuff, and you're not going to intimidate us. Let me tell you something, Bob. You're just as sick as he is, and I'm telling you, he will pay that fine or he won't work for this company. You're not going to mess with this show like you did before. I'll have you physically removed out of here.
Well, now, who have you got big enough to handle that job? Who have you got big enough? It ain't going to be you, rail man. Who's going to throw me out? You don't pack the gear. Nobody's going to throw me out of this show. I'm here to take care of my son. You messed with the wrong boy.
I'll tell you what, you piece of trash. Where's your stinking son now, huh? Huh? Where's your son? Where's your son? You call him a hero. Your son ain't no hero. What your son is a piece of trash. And you're trash, too.
Now you're making a mistake. Now you mess with my son. Nobody does that, mister. I don't care who you are.
That's because your son's a lowlife, and if you're going to stand out here and call him a hero, then you're a lowlife, too. Your whole family is nothing but trash.
Come on. Look out. Hey, come on. Oh, Brian's got bullet Bob Armstrong, and here comes Jesse James Armstrong from behind.
Jesse James Armstrong nailed Brian Christopher from behind. Brian tucked him over his back. Watch out, bullet Bob Armstrong right behind you. He grabbed Brian by the throat.
Gotta get some help by him for Brian. Let's get this thing apart, Dave.
Come on. You and Baxter, get out of here. Started the whole thing. Look out. He's got a chair.
Oh, boy. Look out. Armstrong from behind nails Christopher with that metal chair. Now the Armstrongs double team Brian Christopher. Baxter's jumping on Randy Hales over here.
Brian Christopher lying on the floor while Baxter is beating up on Randy Hales, keeping him from breaking up the action.
Here comes Doc Gilbert out.
Both of them down in the middle of the ring right now, and Armstrong, this upsets me. I mean, Armstrong knows.
Look at that. Baxter just tossed the chain in there to Jesse James Armstrong. Well, bullet Bob Armstrong has the attention of referee Bill Rice. Armstrong now Doc Gilbert too. Here comes Christopher. Brian Christopher in, and Baxter jumps on his back.
Well, now that's going to be a disqualification on Doug because the referee didn't see the chain. He just saw Brian Christopher jumping in there. Here comes Miss Texas after Brandon Baxter.
Oh, look at Miss Texas.
She's got Baxter.
Going off to Baxter. Bob Armstrong's in there struggling with a chair from Christopher. Miss Texas down on the floor to Baxter.
Look out, heavenly bodies have jumped in there. We got all kinds of people jumping in. Who is that? That's Steve Armstrong, isn't it?
Steve Armstrong, yeah.
The Armstrong family seems to be here in force today. Bullet Bob in there, Steve Armstrong. He hit Brian Christopher with a pile driver.
Oh, boy. Armstrong leading the younger Armstrongs on here today. Steve and Jesse James, led by their father, Bob Armstrong.
Axl Rotten, the heavenly bodies, and who is that Stephen Dunn over there, have blocked the door from where help might be coming.
Come on.
Here comes PG-13
trying to come through, and they're waiting for him
and
now.
the Spellbinder, but they can't get through.
Come on, they got Miss Texas.
Baxter working on Miss Texas again, being held by Steve Armstrong. Bob Armstrong just chopped Brian Christopher.
Here comes Billy Jack Haynes. We don't need him here.
No, we sure don't need Billy Jack Haynes to add to the problem that we got here. He steps into the ring, shakes hands with Steve Armstrong. Whoa! He short clotheslines him. Shakes hands with Jesse James Armstrong. Puts him down to the mat. Billy Jack Haynes. Leading out the Armstrong. Look at Baxter. Baxter's gone into shock over here. Look at the finger pointing. The finger pointing by the Armstrong.
Hey,
You see that?
Man, I got to tell you,
Armstrong
a little different than the story that we heard from Bob in there. Billy Jack, I was stunned at that. We're going to take time out. Be back in just a moment. Match to start off with as we get ready to go, as Tekno Team 2000 already in the ring. And they'll be going against Dangerous Doug and his partner, Big Billy Jack Haynes. This is going to be a heck of a kickoff for our championship wrestling show in the ring. Referee Bill Rush is up there. And for the official introductions on them, we've got Tekno Team 2000.
Yeah, indeed, we're ready to go, Lancer. Tekno Team 2000, Troy and Travis, the team from the future, coming in at a combined weight of 481 pounds, along with Downtown Bruno in their corner. And on the other side of the ring, out of Lexington, Tennessee, Dangerous Doug Gilbert and his partner out of Portland, Oregon, Billy Jack Haynes. Bill Rush, the official referee for this one. Tag team action, our opener today on USWA Wrestling.
Downtown Bruno accompanying Tekno Team 2000. That's not good news any way you look at it. Bill Rush trying to get him out where it's a one-on-one situation. Billy Jack looks like he's going to be starting out, and we are ready to go, Corey.
We're going to start off against Troy of this Tekno team, Troy and Travis. That's Troy in there, Billy Jack Haynes. Started off for his side, as you mentioned, Lance, and again, and for some of our viewers that are just tuning in today and wondering, hey, Billy Jack and Doug Gilbert together?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I can hardly believe my eyes, but Billy Jack Haynes came in here last week. You saw what occurred just a moment ago with the Heavenly Bodies and Bob Armstrong and his entire crew that were out here. Also failed to mention that Jimmy Cornette was here last week also, Lance, so you know what type of day we had around here. And Bruno around here.
You know what? Billy Jack Haynes might be on the other side of the ring now, but he ain't forgot how to cheat. Did you see that? First thing he did, he took that man by the hair and slung him across the ring and looked at the people and they clapped and they loved it. Because you know what? They're like him. They cheat their way through life. Look at that right there. Grabbed him by the tights and pulled him to the mat right there.
I didn't see that.
Oh, Corey, you can't see nothing, man.
Tag goes to Doug Gilbert, and Doug takes over from Billy Jack as Troy, that arm being worked on. A follow-up by Doug Gilbert. Travis over here clawing at the bits, trying to get in the ring, and Troy ends up on the wrong side of it, and Billy Jack laces him from outside. Here comes Travis into the ring, and referee Bill Rush runs him out. Foot to the midsection. Billy Jack drops an elbow right on the back of the neck of Troy. Snapmare over the shoulder, comes in behind with a reverse chinlock. Billy Jack looking good.
Looking good, buddy, and let me tell you, along with Brian Christopher, this team of Gilbert and Haynes may look a little unlikely as you look at them in there, but along with Christopher, let me tell you, this will be a force to be reckoned with for anybody that Armstrong has in mind of his Smoky Mountain Wrestling thugs, I'm going to call them.
Well, they're talking about Bruno talking about cheating and that sort of thing. Remember, it wasn't too long ago, Doug Gilbert was in the same category as we didn't approve of everything he did. And here he is with Billy Jack Haynes, and they are giving Bruno's team of Tekno 2000 a hard way to go.
Let me ask you a question. I think if Tekno 2000 exhibits teamwork, you call it double teaming. But when those guys over there double team, you call it good tag team wrestling. What is it, a double standard?
Don't lose any sleep over it, Bruno. We'll all make it by. They're doing what they gotta do. And Gilbert in now with Travis, has him in the side headlock. Hard to get these guys in a good side headlock because they're so tall. They are big boys, Tekno Team 2000.
Oh, they really are. Look at this. Troy of Tekno Team holding on to Gilbert's tights over in the corner. Now, what about that kind of stuff, Bruno? Now Bruno interferes. He's holding on to Gilbert. They got him over in that corner. Tekno Team double teaming Doug Gilbert into the ropes. Double elbow, and they take Doug down.
Tekno Team getting their first 1, 2. Doug really kicked hard and got out of that one.
They hooked that leg, and Doug was just able to get out of it. Big right hand from Troy of Tekno Team. He goes over and gives Billy Jack Haynes a big elbow.
Not a good idea.
No. Tekno Team really giving the attention of Bill Rush over to the corner, Billy Jack Haynes and Gilbert, while Bruno's over here choking Doug. Bruno putting his 2 cents in the bout. As Gilbert over in their corner, and he has got to get a tackle in.
Full slam as Travis takes him down to the mat. We saw you choking him. You're proud of that, I know. Whip Gilbert as Travis tried to follow in with a shoulder into Gilbert. Doug rolled out of the way. Billy Jack trying to get him to come to the corner, and he makes the tag. Here he comes.
Oh, yeah, here comes Billy Jack Haynes. Billy Jack going after Troy of this Tekno Team. Catches him with a big elbow. Billy Jack Haynes, let me tell you, fans, whether you like him or not, I know there are some people out there wondering about this team. This guy is tough. Billy Jack Haynes, he's a tough
me. Big chop right on Travis. Cross the way. Troy hammering on Doug Gilbert, and now both of them have teamed up on Billy Jack. Double whip, double clothesline. Ooh, his head banged off that mat down there as Billy Jack was hammered into the mat.
Look at this.
Double backdrop, and Tekno Team has it going right at the moment.
Got Billy Jack covered.
The leg.
Here comes Doug Gilbert, and boy, does he blast that Troy of Tekno Team.
Doug had a chain.
He got him, yeah.
2, 3, got it.
He got him. Gilbert and Haynes gets the win over Tekno Team 2000. Doug Gilbert unloaded. Man, did he ever blast that Troy of Tekno Team.
Too Sexy Brian Christopher coming up, and we're going to be back in just a moment. Well, we got more action coming up. We had one heck of a bout in here. In case you joined us a little late, you missed a dandy. And that was when Doug Gilbert and Billy Jack Haynes got the win over Tekno Team 2000. Coming in right now, the Shadow, as he'll be going against Too Sexy Brian Christopher.
Too Sexy Brian Christopher shows up and goes around. Says hello to a lot of his fans over there. Boy, he's got a bunch of them. Too Sexy Brian Christopher step in the ring, and we are about ready for action here today at 207 pounds. Out of parts unknown, it is the Shadow and his opponent today, weighing in at 225 pounds out of Memphis, Tennessee. Too Sexy Brian Christopher. Bill Rush is the official referee. We're ready for it, Lance.
Jackets off, bell time, and here we go. Brian Christopher opening up in a single match against the Shadow. Brian has that technique of not only making some outstanding moves, but he can irritate an opponent more than just about anybody I've ever seen in the ring, Corey.
Oh, boy, he certainly can. Too Sexy Brian Christopher. Look at this, going after the Shadow. Boy, snaps him over there hard. Right on that back neck. Takes the Shadow down.
We'll see the Armstrongs in action a little bit later on. Brian dropping the elbow down against the grain of the elbow bend on the Shadow. Right over the top, hooks the arm and takes him over and down. Nice maneuver, Brian Christopher. Referee Bill Rush checking in. I don't know what he had to check in about. The legs of the Shadow were wrapped around the rope, and that called for a break. He's back out to the middle circle. Stay out of the hair. What do you mean? The mask. I didn't see him grab any mask.
That Shadow said his mama didn't raise no fool. Boy, he wrapped those legs around that rope to get himself a break from Christopher. Into the rope. Christopher goes on the coast back. Nice kick. Takes the shadow down. Good move from Christopher. Look at this. Brian sets him up. Snap suplexes the shadow down. Fans calling for that super kick. I know the shadow didn't want to hear that. Nice back to oh, shadow ends up on his feet. Oh, but that'll take him down. I guarantee you. That'll do it. Too sexy Brian Christopher knocks the shadow out with that big super kick. And Brian with another impressive win right here today on USWA Championship Wrestling. Well, the fans approving of that big super kick from Christopher. They called for it. I want to get Brian over here and talk to him about the Armstrongs that are around here. They're hanging around here, Brian.
How'd you like that super kick there, Corey?
It looked real good.
Well, Corey, it's good to see you today. It's good to see Lance is back. But you know, Lance, I don't know if you were watching last week or if you got to see everything, but I know that you heard, and I know you were here and saw, that we've had another invasion by the Smoky Mountain group. All the wrestlers there in Smoky Mountain, once before, they came in here to the USWA, and they tried to run over everybody and take over this corporation. Well,
hey, now, Bob, wait a minute. Now, you've been out here already. We're not going to put up with this today. We've got a program to go on, and we're interviewing Brian right now.
I just wanted to talk to Brian.
no, this is my interview time.
I just have one thing to say to you.
Come on, Bob. What?
You are my second condition. Now, have you been fined? Has Randy Hales put a fine on you?
He's
He
not
hasn't?
going to find me. I hadn't been fined, and I'm not going to be fined. But this right here is my interview time.
Well, has he said anything to you about being suspended for laying your hands on me?
Come on, Bob. Now,
I
wait,
just
wait a
want
minute.
to know. That was my second condition. I only had 4. I want to know if something's being done about it.
I've not been fined, and I'm not going to be suspended. But I'll tell you what, I laid my hands on you last week, and I'm
No, wait a
about
minute, wait a minute. Hey, no violence here now, Brian. Come on. Armstrong, can you take it out of here, please, Bob? Come on. Jesse.
All I want is my conditions met. I've got 4, and that's all I need. And he can do it if he wants to.
Oh, look out. Hey, come on. Duck. Well, that'll even things up in here, but we don't need any trouble out here. Not today. Now, come on, Bob. Would you take your guy? Here comes Steve Armstrong out here. These guys, let me tell you, Jesse James.
They don't like it when it's 3-on-2, do they? They don't like it too much because it's 3-on-2. Where's their gun?
Well, here's 3-on-3 now. Here's Billy Jack Haynes. Oh, yeah. Bob Armstrong saw Billy Jack, and he took off. Christopher, Gilbert, and Haynes go after Jesse and Steve Armstrong into the ring. Billy Jack came out to even things up in there. Gilbert and Christopher slammed Jesse James and Steve Armstrong there together.
Bob is on the outside of the ring
He's
to
not
the
getting
side. And he is in there hollering at Billy Jack Haynes as Brian comes off right on Jesse. Looks like they're handling things in good fashion. Jesse on the outside. Steve caught. Bob is not planning on coming in the ring, Billy Jack. Killed on Steve Armstrong. Look at the pairing with Gilbert and Brian working together, and here is Bob Armstrong with his 2 boys, Steve and Jesse James, out here on the side.
I've never seen anything so unfair in my life. They came out here just for an argument.
Who came out?
Boys want to start a fight. Don't forget 4 conditions. That's all we got is 4 conditions.
Condition. Oh, Brian Christopher looking at Bob Armstrong, and now the okay, guys, if you made the point, Bob heads to the ring to get away from the trio. They're not going to let him get away, though, Corey.
Nope, they sure are. They've got him cornered in there. Looks like it's Christopher Haynes and Gilbert.
Tracy smothered in with that flag stick, starts swinging it. Here come the Armstrong boys back. This is more to their liking. 4-on-3. It's Tracy with that flag stick hammering away. Puts Doug Gilbert down and now pounds on him with that stick. As Steve and Jesse James are working on Christopher and Billy Jack Haynes. Tracy Smothers goes over with a flag stick on Billy Jack.
You know, you can't get rid of these guys, man. They multiply. Here comes Tracy Smothers in here, along with all of the Armstrongs. They just cannot go when things even up in there. It was 3-on-3. And Smothers comes from the back with a pole. Got that flagpole in there. Jazz Billy Jack Haynes with it.
We're not going to stay here anymore. We're going to take a break. Please do. Take a break, and we'll be back here in just a minute. Well, our day is made. We're going to see the Armstrongs out here again. One thing about it, with all of the rudeness and all of the things that those guys pull, they are tough and can wrestle. Make no bones about that. They learned it from their daddy. And while I don't understand what's going on in Bob's mind, brother, he has got himself some sons that can get in there and go.
He's got some dynamite, and we'll be seeing them here in action today. Steve and Jesse James Armstrong, as they make their way to the ring area now, the Armstrongs, along with Tracy Smothers. That's another part of this group that I tell you, you just don't know about.
Well, I am so disappointed in the attitude that Tracy Smothers has developed in these last years. That son of a gun used to be one of the nicest guys I ever saw around, and now all he's looking for is an edge up, like using that flagpole and everything else.
Well, here we go with tag team action. It's Ken Raper and Charlie Laird on one side. On the other side, it's the team of the Armstrongs, Steve and Jesse James. And Tracy Smothers at ringside along with him. Well, right now he's over here.
Starting out, Jesse James Armstrong against Ken Raper. And you can see, you know, Raper.
Shut up, Lance. Jesse James fixing to kill this geek Ken Raper because he's in the USWA. Oh, he got lucky right there.
He got lucky again and again. Ken Raper. Couple of nice moves on the Armstrong. Tracy Smothers said, oh, he just got lucky right there. Don't know about that. Just a couple of good moves from Ken Raper.
Jesse James back in the ring. You've turned out to be one of the rudest people I've ever seen.
You don't know what the word rude is yet, Lance Russell. This time, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, the Armstrongs, we're going to finish the job, man. You see these two guys right here? Look at them. They're athletes. They're not out here cheating. They're not out here pulling hair like I saw Dangerous Doug Gilbert and Billy Jackson, Brian Christopher.
Charlie Laird back in the corner.
Kill him,
He
Steve.
comes over after Steve.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Jesse James held on to Steve Armstrong.
Teamwork, Corey Macklin. That's called teamwork. That's called precise. These guys right here and Bob Armstrong forgot more about wrestling than any of them geeks back there in the dressing room ever knew, man. Look at it right there. That's Steve Armstrong, man. Y'all might have heard of him. Me and him went all over this stinking world. We held every tag team title known to man. And in the Texas Death Match, we're cleaning up on Brian Christopher and Billy Jack Haynes. What's your deal, Billy Jack? What are you doing signing these geeks? Look at that. Look at that. That's precision right there. And Doug Gilbert. Hey, brother, I've been hit with everything but the kitchen sink. But you burned me. Last time I was here, you burned me. And your late brother, Eddie Gilbert, sprayed me with a fire extinguisher and cost me the NWA title. Well, I'm back now, and we're cleaning house.
And that's it.
Yep, it is over. Thank goodness it is over. Maybe we can get Smothers out of here, too, running.
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. That'll be a happy day. The hands raised of Jesse James and Steve Armstrong as they were definitely the favorites going in. A couple of big guys who can really wrestle. Bob Armstrong. They got the win, and we've never said anything about their wrestling ability, except this guy. I don't know what happened to him. Who's he been hanging out with?
smartened up.
Yeah, you really did. You're really smart, Tracy.
These guys are
You'll get yours. Don't worry. It always happens.
Aren't these guys great? Now, I've been through hell and high water out here, and I've been at this matches, I think, long enough, Lance. It's about time that I got the man of the hour, Mr. Randy Hales, out here to fill my fourth and last condition. And that is to apologize to me, admit that he is a coward, and take his butt out of this organization, let somebody run it that knows how. Now, if you've got guts enough, Randy Hales, somebody, right at the referee, get him out here right now. I don't want to wait any longer. I've only asked for 4 conditions. This is the last one. Let's get it done. Let's get it over with. Let's have him stand here and say, I am a coward, Mr. Armstrong. I will take a hike.
Boy, Bob, where is your mind? What's a man going to do? He's not going to come out here and agree to any of that sort of stuff. I wouldn't if I were Randy is no wrestler or anything else, but I tell you what, he's a man of his conviction and his words. And you come out here and saying all of the things that you're talking about.
What choice has he got? He's either got that or be hurt very badly. It's almost
what we
happened
need
already.
to do is end this entire war,
This is
Randy.
absolutely the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. I've never heard, Bob, somebody come out and give us conditions. The answer to all 4 of them, the answer to all 4 of your conditions is no. We're not doing any of them.
There's the answer right there.
Let me tell you, I'm not accepting that answer. I'm going to give you another chance. Think about this, Randy Hale. Think about what could happen to you. All you've got to do is say, yes, Bob, I am a coward. I do quit the company and get out of here. You'll save yourself a lot of trouble and a lot of pain. Let me tell you,
Bob,
think
you've
about
been
it.
around here a long time. I've had wrestlers since I got started in wrestling trying to intimidate me, people trying to intimidate me. I know you could beat my brains out. I know that. But I have a responsibility to this TV station, and I'm not going to give in to you, Bob. The answer is no. Now get out of here.
Now, you're trying to get a physical confrontation. He's not a
If he
wrestler,
was,
Bob.
you know, if he was half a man, I would slap him. But, you know, he's so skinny he has to dance in the shower to get wet.
There's a lot. You're coming out here, and son, I'm telling you to get out of here. I'd rather die than to say that I'm a coward and resign. I'm not going to do it, Bob.
You know, maybe we could just arrange that, Randy.
Come on now, Bob. Don't start that.
Get your hands off of me,
Hey,
Bob.
man, don't worry about that.
Get your hands off of me, damn it.
Get off of him, Bob. For crying out loud. Will you let go of him?
You gonna do it now, Randy, huh?
Boy, you're really making a fine point. Whoa, Eddie Marlin! I'll tell you, Eddie, you have not been here in a long time, but I'll guarantee you one thing. You sure showed up at the right time here today. That's ridiculous stuff like that with Bob Armstrong.
You're right, Lance. It's ridiculous. You know, Lance, I hadn't been here in a long time, but some of the fans know, of course you know, February the 24th, probably one of the worst days of my life. I had to go down to Lexington, Tennessee, and go to Eddie Gilbert's funeral.
Yeah.
When I got home, my life really turned around. My wife had congestive heart failure, and I like to lost her.
Yeah, I know. It was touch and go, Eddie.
And we got that straightened out with a lot of prayers, a lot of well wishes, and she's doing okay now. There's one thing that I'll never forget. You know, I've been knowing Randy Hales since he was 10 years old. Randy Hale came to me and says, Eddie, be with Norma. I'll do whatever I have to do, work night and day. And he did. Not only did he work night and day, go to all the towns, but he was at the hospital with me at night, sitting up with my wife. Now, like I say, she finally got all right. I've been watching every week. I watch the tapes. I talk to Randy every day. some of the things that's happened, I said, Randy, I got to come back. He said, Eddie, you can't let everybody upset you and make you nervous. It's going to happen to me. They had to deal with the Smoky Mountain, and I think he handled it well.
Yep.
He had to deal with Brandon Baxter, and I know he handled it well because I've seen the tapes. Now, that's the reason I hadn't been here. This is the reason I'm here. Now, Randy Hale, like I said, he worked night and day, and he came to the hospital. He set up with me. Randy Hale is like a son to me. Been knowing him since he was 10. He handled the Smoky Mountain. He handled Brandon Baxter. But when Bob Armstrong came out on this TV last week, and slapped Randy Hale, there's no way in the world I could sit home and wait and find out what he was going to do this week. So I got up this morning and I drove the 200 miles and I'm here, and I wouldn't take nothing from being here. Now, Bob Armstrong, Randy Hale is not going to quit. He's not going to say he's a coward. He's not going to give in to the Smoky Mountain thugs that you're part of. You may be the big shot there, Bob Armstrong, bullet Bob Armstrong, but here you're just a little pea in the pod. You will not intimidate Randy Hale, and you certainly won't intimidate me. Now, you want a war. You say you're going to have a war with the USWA. You're not going to fight this man. You're not going to fight Lance, Corey, or Dave, or Randy Hales. You will fight Eddie Marlin. Now, if you got the guts and you want to fight Eddie Marlin, get out here right now, and we'll see what kind of bullet you are. Other than that, you're not going to bother the crew at this TV station at the Coliseums. Now, you say you're going to be in the corner so you can make sure your boys have a fair deal. Well, let me tell you something, Bullet Bob. Every ring that you sit in the corner of, you will be looking to me eye to eye, because I will be in the other corner. I'm going to be back on the road as long as Bullet Bob is in the area. And that's all I got to say. Just when I see Bullet Bob, he better keep his eyes open.
Eddie Marlin, boy, were we glad you showed up today, Eddie. Tell you one thing, Bob, better think twice before you mess with that guy. That old guy, he's not wrestling at all of this. Well, take another thought. We're going to take time out. Be back in a moment.
We are making our way to the ring area now. Here they are, JC and Whoopi. PG-13, a team from the hood. Coming in at a combined weight of 397 pounds. They are currently the USWA Tag Team Champions. And they'll be taking on the Yellow Jacket and Kip Mars here today in a non-title match. Bill Rush is the official ref, and as soon as we call for the bell, we'll go for it. There it is, and here we go, Lancer. Whoopie D starting off for his team. Kip Mars starting off for the other side.
Whoopie backed into the corner by Kip Morris. This is the first time I believe I've seen Kip here on television, and he certainly got the size. Whoopie stops the right hand and drills him back with a couple of rights. PG and Wolfie D. I got to tell you one thing. JC Ice and Wolfie, two of the most exciting guys. You look at them and say, those guys can't be professional wrestlers. Think again. Got the leg hook, 1, 2, and Kip Morris kicks out of it. Yellow Jacket back over in the corner.
Tag made. Here comes the Yellow Jacket. Boy, and he goes down as he steps in there. Nice takedown from JC Ice. One half of the USWA Tag Champ. Reversal. In the turnbuckle goes JC. He stops the Yellow Jacket. Comes out of there on a big clothesline. Hooks to the leg, 2, and Yellow Jacket up. Thought he had the Yellow Jacket that time. Yellow Jacket able to kick out of it as the tag is made. Here comes Sir Whoopie D. Whoopie comes off the rope. Drops a knee down on the Yellow Jacket. Hooks the leg. 2 again. Yellow Jacket up. Well, he's staying in this bout. Whoopi goes over and nails Kip Mars. Slams down the Yellow Jacket.
Hey, some of that teamwork that makes a champion. 1, 2, 3. We have a winner.
PG-13, JC Ice and Whoopi Dean. What a win! And I tell you, the USWA Tag Champions looking good. Want to get them over here and a quick word from JC and Whoopi.
Something to say. Everybody else is talking about the Smoky Mountain, you know, this, that, the other. Hey, everybody knows it started right here, the Smoky Mountain War with PG-13. And we want to be the guys that are in the finish of this. And I'm talking about Bullet Bob Armstrong. You cost us the Smoky Mountain Tag Team titles last week. Well, we got you in the ring. And Bob, I don't know if you know much about the hood, baby, but hey, I'm going to show you this week, Bob.
You see, Bullet Bob Armstrong, we're going to give you credit, man. You've been a professional wrestler for 25 years, longer than we've been alive. But you see, the difference is that was 25 years ago. This is 1995. And at the end of this match, I'm going to put this right here up yours, baby.
PG-13, JC and Whoopi. We'll be back with more USWA Championship Wrestling action. Stay with us. Whoa, we're ready. 218 pounds out of Memphis, Tennessee. In the ring is C.D. Steele, and here comes his opponent. Wrestling in out of Newcastle, England, Big Axl Roden at 266 pounds, and Roden lights in on T.D. Steele. Boy, he comes in even before the bell, before he takes off his jacket, and Big Axl Roden goes in after Steele. Backs him up, whips him into the ropes. Big elbow from Axl Roden.
Axel puts him down on the mat. Whip across the ring as he gets him up. TD goes with a knee lift that didn't get much lift out of the big guy. There's a whip into the ropes, going for a clothesline. Whoa! Good. Knock. Right over there. Kind of 1, 2, 3, and we have got to get out of here. Dave will be back with us next week with Corey Macklin. Woo, Axl Rotten comes up with the final victory in there, and what a day it's been today, my boy. I tell you what, we start off with Bob Armstrong coming in here, laying down 4 absolutely ridiculous stipulations that Brian Christopher be fined and suspended, that Randy Hales admit he's a coward and quit, all of these other things, the fines lifted off of his boys and all that. I don't know what he has got on his mind, but I'll tell you one thing about it. Everybody I know in the USWA, they want to settle it in one place, and that's right in that ring, partner.
Got that right. And the Armstrongs, they're around the USWA here with Tracy Smothers, and they're bickering and complaining about things. But let me tell you, once you push the tape and see what Armstrong pulled in here last week and here today, you see that all of these guys are nothing but a bunch of thugs.
What about Tracy Smothers jumping in here? Had no business being
comes in with that flagpole.
It was exciting. David will be back with us next week. And until that time, I want to tell you, we're always looking for your attendance. You're what makes the big factor work when you watch USWA Championship Wrestling. Please make it a point to bring a friend next week. The more the merrier. We have a lot of fun every single week, and we hope you are too. Obviously, some of you must be, because you're with us every doggone week. All righty, until next week at this time when we bring you more of the exciting action of USWA. For Corey Macklin, this is Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of USWA Championship Wrestling.